What up, everyone? This is Adam Quiney from Evergrowth Coaching, and I wanted to talk about a distinction tonight that had shown up in two places. First, in a conversation where I was being coached, and second, in a conversation where I was coaching someone. And that distinction is between HAPy, HAPpy, and HAPy, HAPy. That first side, I think we all know what HAPy, at least in terms of, we know the definition of that word, we have a rough idea. But on the other side, HAPy, that's high achieving performance, E. It's a little clumsy, but you get the idea. I like the way it kind of works out. So first, let's talk about HAPy as we all know it. And happiness is a state of being that or rather it's an emotional state, an emotion, a sense of feelings that becomes available to us when we allow ourselves to be fully expressed, when we give ourselves access to the full expression of everything that it means to be a human. So that means joy, certainly, but it also means the other side of the emotions that sometimes we don't tend to like sadness, anger, maybe fear, and then everything else on the other side of that, ecstasy, excitement, thrill, trepidation. So on that first side, we get happiness when we're willing to let ourselves experience all that life has to offer, when we don't block the flow, when we don't hold out certain emotions or certain feelings that we're having, when we don't try to slap a paint job of positive thinking onto something, or when we don't tell ourselves, hey, it's not okay to be sad or to be angry because those are weak emotions. And lest you think I've got it figured out, this is something I've been working on for years, just working to allow myself to basically be myself. And then on the other side of that distinction, we've got HAPy, HAPy. This is the high achievement, the performance, trying to perform our way to get a certain experience of life. And so you can see this, there's a million ways it shows up, but some of the most obvious ones are that goal that we're like, once we get that goal, then things are going to work. Then I'll get to be happy. Perhaps another way to look at it would be, looking for the list of 10 things that if I did those 10 things, or what are 10 ways to get more presence, or 10 ways to experience more joy in my life. And the irony of these lists of 10 things that are out there is, one, they completely give you a thing to perform. They give you a set of steps to try to do perfectly that if you, at least I think the myth or the idea is if you do them, then you get more joy. And the truth is that you can't perform your way to joy, and you don't get a joyful experience of life by shutting out certain parts of your emotional state. Joy comes when we allow ourselves to fully be there. And so that is kind of the irony of these two things. This distinction is that when people are, and often you see this with high performers, when people are trying to perform, they put a lot of their attention on the goal or the next thing, or what's the right way to think positively, or how can I meditate more and not let my negative thoughts bubble up. And then on top of all that suppression that they're doing with themselves, they're trying to put these 10 steps that they can follow, or what's the right affirmation for today, or how can I show up even more grateful for the life I have. And I'm not suggesting that gratitude's not a good thing. In fact, it's incredibly powerful to practice gratitude. What I'm suggesting is that anything you do on top of this suppression, this holding yourself down, is doomed to failure. And the truth is that real happiness, it doesn't come from hiding the rest of your emotions or trying to get past them or to ignore them. It comes from letting yourself feel everything that's there. Thanks for checking out. Much love.